30 years ago, I thought making it in the music business meant signing a record deal. 20 years ago, I thought it meant having a hit record. 10 years ago, I was sure it meant never having to worry about money ever again. None of those things panned out, but here I am, still at it, still writing, still touring, still building. And honestly, more clear about what this is and what it's for than I've ever been. My name is Tony Lucca. I've been a working musician now for over 30 plus years. I've been signed, I've been dropped, I've had the big TV moment, the top 3 finalist on The Voice, and I've had years where the phone didn't ring. These days I spend my time touring, traveling the world, playing guitar for country singer Brett Young. I write custom songs for people celebrating the most precious moments of their lives. As well, I've maintained a community of devoted fans on Patreon for over 13 years now. And I'm not telling you that to impress you. I'm telling you that because if you are an independent artist trying to build something that actually lasts, chances are I have been right where you are now. And I found the keys to open doors nobody handed me. That's what this channel is. Not theory, not some highlight reel, not advice someone read about the music industry in some book. Receipts. If that's something you need, stick around. Okay, so maybe you're an independent artist, already deep up in the throes of the music industry, and you're no longer dreaming about what that might look like. You've probably been grinding long enough to realize that the grind is hardly enough. Or maybe you're like me, imagining that there's a smarter way to build something that actually lasts. Now, if you're sitting around just waiting to be discovered, this probably isn't the channel for you. But if you're curious about how to stay at it, keep watching. Sustainability isn't what you settle for when fame doesn't happen. Simply put, sustainability is a strategy. In fact, it's the only strategy that actually works. See, the industry sells us the binary. You either make it or you don't. You're either signed or unsigned, either famous or invisible. And that framing is the most dangerous thing a young artist can internalize because it turns everything just shy of the top into failure, and failure into a reason to quit. Chances are, if you're watching this video, you yourself have already experienced a bit of defeat. Maybe some rejection, certainly some disappointment on some level. Time and again, always returning back to the why. Not the why as in why me or why not me, but the why as in what's behind your sense of motivation in the first place. And chances are that why is rooted in some deep-seated belief that you have something the world needs to hear, to see, or to experience. It's my goal through this channel to foster that belief, to provide you insights and inspiration, strategies, maybe even a little bit of accountability as you continue on your path towards a sustainable career. What does sustainability look like? By now, we all understand that the tools and skills required to make it as a viable artist today are vastly different than they were 10, certainly 20 years ago. And they're only going to continue to change for the next 10 to 20 years. That said, there are plenty of skills that will always be integral to being a professional artist, regardless of the latest best practices of the most recent social media app or platform. There's the craft of writing quality songs, of making meaningful and competitive records, to getting up on stage and being comfortable in front of an audience, to making fans, growing your fan base, building and growing community. Here's the thing, these aren't just things I've done over the past 30 years, like little boxes that you get to check off. No, these are things I do to this very day, like key ingredients to a recipe of sustainability. I started making records at the age of 20, and I just put my most recent album out this past winter, and my new single drops next week. I began touring back in 1998, and I just got off the road playing a few sold out and not so sold out shows last month. And I started posting video content over on Patreon 13 years ago, and today I can say I have one of the highest retention rates of any creator on the platform. We're noticing a pattern here. Now I get commissioned to write songs for other people. I get songs placed in film and TV shows. I tour the world playing guitar for a famous country singer. All of these things I'm uniquely qualified to do at the age of 50 simply because I never gave up. I didn't design this overnight. I built it piece by piece over decades, and each piece has a purpose. None of it's glamorous on its own, but together it makes a career. The career you can sustain is worth more than the career you can't. The artist still playing at 50 because they built something real has won something that the one-hit wonder never will. And unfortunately, most people don't realize that until it's too late, or until something else forces the question. So a lot of people know I had the pleasure of taking third on season 2 of The Voice. Team Adam, a gigantic spotlight and a firm but tight 15 minutes of fame. People ask me all the time, what was that like? And honestly, it was amazing. I had an absolute blast doing it. Granted, I had a pretty unique story in that I had worked with one of their mega coaches, Christina Aguilera, back on the Mickey Mouse Club when we were teenagers. Maybe we'll save that for another video. And on the heels of the show, I signed to Adam Levine's short-lived 222 Records. Went out on tour opening for Maroon 5 and Kelly Clarkson out on the Honda Civic Tour back in 2013. I was finally able to move my family to Nashville. Everything was kind of happening the way I always imagined it would. Like maybe this reality TV thing made the difference. What most people don't know is that immediately following the tour, Adam's label got folded into a bigger label and I was unceremoniously let go. Strangely enough, this was not the first time I had moved to Nashville with a record deal in hand, only to lose it within months of moving here. True story. It was, however, the first time that happened while I had my wife and 2 kids in tow. I was shattered, gutted, and a bit scared, if I'm honest. Had no idea what my next move would be. Around that time, an industry friend of mine told me about Patreon. For the uninitiated, Patreon is basically a membership platform where artists and content creators can build community and generate income on an ongoing basis, unlike Kickstarter, where you raise a bunch of money, get a lump sum for a single project. And thus the Duty Free Rockstar Extravaganza was born. In a rather short period of time, I was able to gather a few hundred of my most devoted followers to become members of a community that would go on to exceed my wildest imaginations of what a community could ever be. A community that not only survived, but continues to thrive to this day. I quickly began to realize that the sense of defeat I had experienced wasn't for what I had lost, but for what it was I thought I wanted. In time, I began to understand that this new path, this pivot, wasn't towards some kind of consolation prize, but instead catapulting me towards a whole new approach to my why. It was a wake-up call, a glorious and humbling reminder of the importance of connection and community, and most importantly, gratitude. That moment where the thing I thought I wanted didn't work out the way I planned turned out to be the most clarifying thing that could have possibly happened for my career at that time. Because it forced me to ask a question I had been avoiding. What was I actually building? And why? What's your why? Drop it in the comments below. Let's talk about it. Every week on this channel, I'm going to share with you what 30 years in the industry has taught me. About the craft of writing songs, about building an income as an independent artist, about the inner work, the mindset, and the meditation, and the stuff that nobody talks about in music business class that makes it all sustainable. Not from a textbook, just from my very own experience. If that's something you need, go ahead, subscribe. That's it. I'll see you next week.